Welcome back to another edition of the WMMA Today podcast with Drake Riggs and me, Steve King. We have a lot to talk about this week. Recap UFC Vegas 6 recaps, Bellator 243 recap, a RIZIN 22 recap, Contender Series recap that happened yesterday. Bunch of new. Somebody got dropped from the UFC, which I'm crazy excited about. I'm really happy to talk about somebody who sold by UFC. It was about fucking time. Paige Van Zandt goes somewhere not in MMA, surprisingly. And then we have the UFC 252 preview that with 2 fights coming up this weekend on a good pay-per-view, UFC pay-per-view card. All right, let's fucking go.
Let's do it.
Okay, so starting off with the Bellator 243 recap with Valerie Lareda. Look at that picture. Second round knockout. Like right at the bell, almost. Pretty much was at the bell, right?
Yeah, it was. It was like, literally right on it. Pretty much. It could have gone to the next round, but stopped it, and rightfully so.
Yeah. Well, Mike Beltran, you see Mike Beltran with Terry Graf there. He's one of the best anyway. So
Oh yeah.
She was getting pounded on.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. I mean, it's a really good thing, I think, that Valerie ended up finishing this fight because it was kind of on its way to becoming like a meme, sort of. Like a lot of people were making fun of it as it was until the knockout came, right? I mean, because she was just playing to her style, the taekwondo, keeping the distance and not running away, but obviously back foot for most of the fight. And I mean, that's how people are going to be fighting her, having to apply the pressure because she's going to take her time, as she did. And it paid off. So, I mean, you can't be too upset with her. And obviously, you saw that she was super excited to shut everybody up for. It's like she knew that she was getting like shat on as the fight was happening.
Yeah. I mean, she's very well aware of what people are saying about her on social media, specifically Twitter. People are not nice on Twitter regarding what she does on her TikTok. I mean, we've even seen fighters go at her, Macy Chiasson. But yeah, she proved haters wrong. I mean, yeah, Tara Graf is not exactly, a phenomenal fighter, but she's a fighter. And I mean, this is Lareda's third fight in MMA in Bellator. Literally her third fight as a professional. They're gonna keep giving her these type of fights. I mean, she deserves these type of fights at this point so that she can build up a bunch of finishes, people who she should be finishing. Because you got to remember, she's a black belt in Taekwondo. She is a legit striker. She knows what she's doing when it comes to striking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you put it completely perfectly there. She did what she should have done. It is what it is, right? It's just kind of that situation and how, Bellator is being slow with her. And, they do that with some people. And I mean,
MVP treat.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, and seeing how the fight was going. I mean, obviously, it wasn't like she was destroying or dominating beforehand or anything, but just slightly edging it out in a very, she's not an elite fighter yet or anything. And nobody should expect that from her. Like, obviously, she gets talked about a lot for, being an attractive person who's fighting and all that kind of stuff. And
yeah, I mean, she's gorgeous. She's
gorgeous.
Just
like naturally equates to, I think, people assuming that like she's really good, not already.
Real. Like she's not, or she's not for real.
That
like
too.
She's just she's like a really pretty girl. We talk about treatment. she's getting the as far as like the cans, she's fighting nobody. She's getting the MVP treatment in that regard, but she's getting on social media, people are seeing her as getting the Paige Van Zandt regard treatment, where she's not as good of a fighter as Bellator is making her out to be. You know, people just hate on these attractive women who are fighters. That's just the way it is with female fighters in general. Like people, like dudes, just want to hate on them for whatever reason. It's annoying as fuck. But she's talented. I mean, she's young. She's only
obviously still green, obviously, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
She's 3-0. Of course, she should be either knocking opponents out or getting knocked out at this point in her career. She's still building her career. I mean, the hate that is coming toward Valerie Loureda is not because of her fighting skills. It's because of her Instagram and TikTok and her whole social media presence, not because of her fighting.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I was gonna say, I wonder if she like didn't have any social media, like if she would still get the kind of comments about her, like if she was just kind of off the internet. And I mean, probably. I mean, a little bit. Just
she would, because she's a gorgeous woman. I mean, she's beautiful. There's no going around that. I don't know if you saw my tweet earlier, maybe 2 days ago. My buddy, who does not watch MMA, sent me a dual picture of Valerie Loureda, one in a bikini and one just a normal, or probably that pose right there or something like that. I mean, she's getting love from people outside of MMA because she is a gorgeous girl, a gorgeous woman. I mean, there's no going around that. She's beautiful.
Yeah, she can't change that. She'll need her opponents to help her with that part.
Right. I mean, how are you going to hate on a woman for doing what she does, what she loves? Of course she's gonna go out on social media and market herself. Nobody else is.
Yeah, I know. That's something that is kind of a lost art a little bit. And Megan Anderson has talked about it a little bit, but nobody's promoting you. I mean, you need to put in the work to get yourself out there too. It's not like you can't expect things from anybody.
Okay, so we saw that with Demetrius Johnson, didn't we? And he did absolutely no social media, and he's not even known as one of the best ever, and he is because his lack thereof social media presence.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. But it was a really good finish and everything. Big. It shows like that she's got some serious power for. She's not that big of a flyweight either. I'd like to see her next to Carmouche will outsize her for sure, and that's obviously premature. That's way too soon for that.
I don't think she's ready for the wrestling of Carmouche.
Imagining something like that, but I will say though that her dancing at the end of the fight, big time troll. I really don't have anything against Valerie or any of this stuff. I'm with you on everything you were saying, but it was such a good troll that it annoyed me a little bit. I was like,
she did exactly what she should have done. She trolled the fuck out of the trolls.
Everybody.
I mean, you're not seeing negative shit about Valerie Loureda this week. She just fought. She just got a fantastic knockout, and she trolled the fuck out of the trolls. So she got wins in all kinds of situations.
Yep, she made a highlight out of a fight that had no highlights.
Right.
So,
yeah, I mean, pretty much. Yep.
So, very good on her.
Yep, for sure. Okay, so the UFC Vegas 6 recap. Start off with the bantamweight fight. Yana Kunitskaya and Julija Storolenko. They fought to a unanimous decision. As you can see on the bottom there, a 30-26, a and then 2 30-27s. Yeah, that first round, that 30-26 came from that first round, because of I mean, that was Kunitskaya's round. I mean, she dominated that round.
Are you sure it wasn't the second round?
Or was it
I
the
think
second
it's,
round? Was it the
yeah,
second
I'm
round
thinking.
where she had her clinched up against the cage for the whole round?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. And I mean,
that was basically the whole fight.
that was basically the whole fight. And
Yeah.
it's funny because this fight also got a lot of hate. Like compared, talking about the last one and how people were making fun of it kind of before the finish and everything. This fight also got a lot of hate. Obviously, it wasn't the most exciting fight. I'm not about to say that or anything, but I didn't hate it. I'm pretty hard to make. I don't know, I'm easy to please, I guess, when it comes to fighting because I love it so much. And obviously, I expected this to be a lot more of a war and Yulia to really go in there and make things nasty. But damn, dude, Yana just outsized her and was so much stronger that she fought smart. I mean, she did. That was exactly the game plan that was, easiest route to victory, obviously. So I mean, I'm not mad at it. If somebody, I like to see fighters fight smart because when they don't, it is so frustrating. Like if
Yeah.
Yana would have went out there and brawled and completely threw out her
She
style.
probably would have got knocked out, to be honest.
I mean, dude, man, Yulia still was able to land some of those elbows that we saw like against
Absolutely.
Versosa, and I was like, oh damn, here comes the blood. But she ended up getting a bloody nose, but that was about all the blood
Yeah.
we would get. But yeah, no, I mean, a very fine performance from Yana. I mean, obviously it doesn't like raise her stock too much or anything, but not really taking a risk on an opponent who is dangerous and coming in on short notice where she probably didn't really prepare for her. Couldn't might not have even known who she was. Like one of those situations. They're both from very different parts of the world. Similar to like I like to use this example. It was Volkov and Greg Hardy. Like when they fought, I bet that Volkov had no idea who Greg Hardy is. Guy who lives in Russia. Just yeah, Greg Hardy's got a name and stuff, but not for anything that Volkov would know him for. Even just for winning his UFC fights, he did. Could have been a similar thing like that. So, and Volkov played it safe in that one a little bit too, and got a clear victory anyway. So obviously it played out differently, but yeah, man. Yana was just much bigger and stronger. That was really the story of
Yeah.
it, and um, I'm sure that they'll give Yulia another chance. They better. I mean, she's
Yeah. I mean,
improved so much since
I would
Tough.
assume that they would. Yeah. Okay. So it's funny. I didn't see the comments from Dave and Stamina MC and Yusuf. Thank you for coming. I
Yes.
didn't see the comments for some reason. They just showed up. So I'm going through as you were talking. I'm going through, and yeah, I mean, so here's the thing: promotions only devote so much time to promoting fighters, and the very top at that. These athletes are freelance contractors, so they need to do their own promo. Exactly. I mean, that's exactly it. Demetrius Johnson is literally the one that I think of every time that I hear fighters should promote themselves. Well, yeah, they should, but promoters should promote their champions as well and people that they want bringing up. I mean, it should go both ways. But as far as Valerie Loreda, she is doing an absolutely great job. Stamina, you're right. She is doing a fantastic job. There's a great balance with her. There's a great balance with her.
I mean, she's doing a very good job too, considering like she hadn't fought in a while. Like when we were previewing the fight too, last week,
Mm-hmm.
we were like, oh damn, it's kind of been a while since that last fight that she had. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was summer. I don't even remember. That's how kind of long ago it was, and she was still able to stay pretty relevant, that whole time since then, just by doing what she wants to do. So that's something
Yeah.
in its own right.
Okay, so going back to Yana Kunitskaya, um, oh man, I she's really talented, right? Like you can see the talent is there with her, um, and you can see that she's getting trained really well. Like she's really picked up a great training regimen from her fiance, I guess. Or are they engaged? I don't even know if they're
I don't know if
engaged.
they.
Yeah, I don't
They
know.
might be.
It doesn't even matter. Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Tiago.
Tiago, right? Mr. Hammer himself. Fucking Hammer and Kunitskaya.
I was
But
waiting for you to go there.
but yeah, I mean, she looked phenomenal. She did what she was supposed to do. I mean, that was her game plan from the jump. I She played her game plan to a T. I mean, sure, she got taken down like in the third round or whatever. Like they rolled a little bit, and she could have gotten um, tapped out at one point,
Yeah, she played
right?
with fire there at the
She
end of.
did
I
play
think that
with
was the
fire,
first round. Yeah,
but
really.
I mean, there was really nothing. There was really nothing there yet. You know, maybe a little bit more time on the ground. She could have been in a lot of trouble,
Mm-hmm.
but she played her game plan perfectly. I mean, she worked. She did the Kamaru Usman. She clinched the fuck out of that woman, and kept her up against the cage, and you know, threw her elbows and body shots, and you know, bloodied her up a little bit on the nose. Great game plan, to be honest.
Yep, and now it's just here's to hoping that if Ketlin beats Renault, then we can get that again. Because I still want to see Yana versus Ketlin really badly. Because I know that Ketlin will not be bullied like that. Ketlin is a big bantamweight.
Yeah, she would not. She would not put up with that shit. And if she did, honestly, she would probably turn it around on Kunitskaya.
Exactly, so it'd be dangerous. I don't think that Yana would go with that game plan anyway. She'd stick to what we usually are accustomed to seeing out of her with her aggressive kind of volume distance striking. So
Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, she's a really good fighter.
Oh yeah, I love me some Kunitskaya when she's on point. Just like
Yeah,
for you guys
exactly.
watching,
When
if
she's
you
on
haven't
point.
seen Yana versus Paul Louis and her, I think
Oh yeah,
that was when she won the title. That's vintage Yana performance right there. So,
yeah. She looked phenomenal in that fight,
yes.
and that was before she got with Tiago.
Yeah, that is very true. All right, Ryzen's back, baby.
Right to 22, and you stayed up for all of it. I saw
Hell yeah.
all of your recaps. God damn, you did work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
Keeping everybody
so
up to date.
yeah, I mean, I don't stay up for Ryzen. I can't do it.
I saw you were talking for Ryzen 23. Did you catch that one? I didn't see you any at all for this one.
Right, I did for Ryzen 23 a little bit. Ryzen 22,
Mhm.
not so much. I can't do it, man. Like that's not in me.
Not wired.
I'm just gonna say, if I was in Europe, I would be the ultimate casual MMA fan because I would not be staying up for UFC events all through the night. I would not be doing that at all. And I don't know if you saw the MMA rankings belt thing that I put out.
The belt?
Okay, so go to my Twitter. Go to my
Okay.
Twitter. The promoted tweet, the first pinned tweet is an MMA belt thing that I made.
Oh, I did see that. I
It
didn't
was
like.
in my
I didn't.
article. It was part of my article, and then I just put it out as the thing, the MMA fan belt ranking system.
I think got
It's
some
kind of-
traction on it, dude. Damn.
Kind of like the jujitsu. That's kind of like the jujitsu ranking
Yeah.
belt ranking system. I would totally not be the maroon belt where the Euro MMA fans get for staying up all night. I would not be one of them at all.
That is hilarious.
I would be a fucking semi-casual or casual MMA fan.
I don't think
If
I'm
I-
rough, man.
Oh yeah, they absolutely do. Okay, so moving on to the Ryzen 22 recap. So Ayaka Hamasaki, did what we thought she would do, right?
Oh my goodness, dude. It's insane, dude. She's becoming an ageless wonder. I mean, she's not like super old or anything, but like, dude, still looked phenomenal in this fight. Like, I feel like she's getting more powerful as she's getting older. Like the power on her punches, she never used to hit as hard as. Maybe it's because she's fighting in RIZIN now and like the crowds are quieter or something. I don't know. And also, I'll say that it was really nice just aside from this fight, but it was really nice to see crowds back, you guys. I'm gonna tell you that much. I miss that atmosphere, even though a Japan crowd is obviously very different
It's
than an American
different.
crowd or
Yeah, it's
anywhere.
very different for Japan. Japan, the Japanese MMA fans are special. They don't
get
fucking
it.
yeah, they get they totally understand. They've they don't feel like they know everything, and they don't like do these stupid chants of woo, and they don't boo and all that, all the bullshit that we see in America.
Yeah, I know. It was funny. I don't know if no, it wasn't this fight. It might have been I can't remember which one it was, but there was a fight that had a whole lot of scrambles in it. It was really fun to watch. It was the one with the flying guillotine. Amazing, by the way. That's a submission of the year candidate.
I
And
saw that.
the clapping for transitions and sweeps and stuff. I was
Mhm.
like, I missed that so much. Like just the applause for like, well
It's cool.
done, you guys,
Yeah,
gentlemen.
it's just cool, man. I mean, the Japanese MMA fans are sophisticated MMA fans, while
It's refreshing.
Americans and Europeans are the drunk fucking party MMA fans. They're
Fighting in the streets when their fighters
yeah, they're
lose.
the uncles. They're the uncles of the family of the MMA family, while the Japanese are the respectful grandpas and grandmas.
That's funny how much that makes sense. But yeah, man, Ayaka just yeah, we knew that she would beat Tomo again. Just we saw her submit her like 2 weeks ago in Deep Jewels and everything in that tag team match. But got to see her striking on display here in that first round. Knocked Tomo down, I think twice. I know it was at least once. I think it was two though. One of them it was kind of like a slip. The second one I think, which is why I'm not sure if I'd call it that. But yeah, man, she looked as good as ever. I mean, she ate some good shots from Tomo. I mean, it was like not that Tomo looked bad. It was just a case of she was fighting somebody so much better, and the best atom weight ever. I'll say that every time because I think she's one of the most underappreciated fighters that there's ever been. And surely that's just because of the division that she's been fighting in, and atom weight hasn't historically gotten that same level of exposure as really any other yet. So that's always sad to me, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, Hamasaki's awesome, man, and it was really nice to see her back. Still looking so good. It's like I think the last time I talked to her too, it was like she's in that spot where I guess I was fighting until I feel like I can't anymore. And if she keeps looking better and better at this stage, it's like damn, we could see her going forever.
Yeah, she's only like 40, right?
I think she's like 37, 38 range now. So
Yeah, I mean, she can fight a few more years. I mean,
I'll watch her fight So He Hum 17 times if I have to. It's gonna be
right?
great every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And then we had a little bit a much more one-sided beatdown actually.
Yeah. Uh, Kana Sakura beat Mizuki Furose in the first round by a knockout. I mean, you can see it there on the image on the screen. It was completely one-sided beatdown.
Yeah, it was like I had some faith in Mizuki, a really good, very young prospect who was on a good streak. I had some faith that she could hang in there for a little bit against Kana. Didn't at all expect her to win. It would have been a massive upset. Kana is a very special fighter at atom weight.
Yeah.
One of the elites at age 22. Incredible. But man, Mizuki really cost herself by going for that double leg as early as she did. Um, that was it. She went for the double leg, got sprawled, and it was game over. Just got completely pummeled. I don't think she landed a single strike. It made her look a lot worse than she is. I mean, but that also goes to show you how good Connor really is too. So, I mean, that's MMA. That's just MMA for you. Good win, a very good win for Kana, regardless.
Yep, I agree. I know. I muted it, and then he did it again. Fucker, he got me. They usually only do it like once or twice, and then
So I think that the most interesting thing, or kind of the pickle coming out of Ryzen 22 here over the weekend is what to do now with atom weight. And I think that we were already talking about that potential Ayaka and Sohyam, the quadrilogy fight, right? That was already something that was being discussed, and how I think so. He said in an interview with John Yun Ko, shout out to our boy JHK, that she expects it to happen eventually, and like, I mean, with Ayaka still looking this good, of course, yeah, I mean, it should be expected, and who wouldn't want to see it? I mean, that Ayaka arguably won that third fight, man. I feel like I edged it towards her a little bit, but it was so close, and it was such an amazing fight, one of the best ever. That like, I wasn't really too upset about it when it was, that up in the air.
Yeah,
But man, would love to see it again. It'll probably be next. I mean, I can't see Kana skipping over Ayaka, especially she beat Furuse, who prospect not ranked.
right.
Mesawa is a ranked opponent there, and Kana lost to Ayaka not super recently, but for the title, when to win the title, Ayaka beat her. Don't think I'll match them up. And then but the thing is, Reina's in that mix, and it's like, okay, what do we do with her? We can't put her against Kana again because she's lost Kana twice,
Yeah,
which
she lost twice.
another thing that shows you how good Kana is.
I
And
kind of want to
then
see it again though. It's like the Volkanovski Max thing. I want to see Reina fight her again. I mean, I just do. But I
I
mean,
mean, she
you know that I'm a big fan of Reina. So
yeah, I mean, Reina's awesome, and
yeah,
it was a better fight the second time around. She survived
it was.
to go
It's
the
just like the
distance.
Max Volkanovski fight.
Yeah, not as close, but yes,
Yeah,
not as close. Kana still definitely won that, but I know it's like it would just kind of trends towards being more competitive, but at the same time, Reina hasn't. I don't know. She hasn't looked like she's improved a significant amount since then. But at the same time, I would still love to
yeah.
see it. We'll
Unfortunately,
never see Reina versus Ayaka because Ayaka's been like a mentor for her, which that sucks. That'd be a fun fight, but it's understandable. It's like the Kane and DC of the atomweight
right?
division.
Yep.
So yeah, we're probably gonna look at Ayaka and Sohyam for maybe not next because South Korea is kind of having their borders are a bit of an issue. I think still. So that
Yeah.
is what it
Who
is.
knows what Ryzen's gonna do again? Gonna do.
Yeah, but man, I'm just so happy to see him back, dude. So
Yeah. I
happy.
mean, it was pretty cool. It was pretty good to see
Amazing
two
events.
two events, back to back.
Yeah, they were fantastic. Only 4 decisions, I believe, out of 4 decisions out of 18 fights. I mean,
Did you stay up for
that
all of
was
them
yeah, man.
the
I
whole
mean,
way through for
they
both?
were good and short, dude. We flew through them, no
Yeah.
intermissions,
No intermissions, right?
and the reason for that was because of I don't know if it was anything to do with the short smallness of these cards because they were 9 fights each.
Yeah.
And usually we'd see not an 18 from them, but around like a 15. Generally, like to do the pretty big cards.
Mm.
But to avoid like creating crowds and people getting up and forming groups in the break period. So it was a COVID related thing. I was like, oh, that's actually a good thing to come out of
Yeah.
the
Maybe
virus.
they should keep doing that because the intermissions are way too fucking long sometimes.
I know it's incredible, like 45 minutes sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, for like our time, dude, they got done at around like 2 o'clock. Usually a general Ryzen card for like a specific time for those who are watching.
6 or 7 a.m. for us.
Yeah, to like 6:30 max. I've never watched one that's gone to 7, but
I could have swore one last year went to like 7 o'clock our time.
yeah, maybe we could have. I mean, but that's the range that we are used to. So
Because Jake and I
this
are
was a
both
pretty
on
good, yeah.
Jake and I are both on the West Coast. So
Yeah.
we're talking about West Coast time, 6 in between 6 or 7 o'clock, typically for Ryzen events
Yeah, pre-COVID, so
pre-COVID, right?
yeah. But good to see him back. I'll tell you that
Yeah,
much.
one of the best promotions in MMA. You and I talk about Ryzen all the time.
Oh yeah.
We love that promotion. So really happy to see them back. All right, so Dana White's Contender Series. Just yesterday, Vanessa Demopolis lost to Corey McKenna. Lost. and it was a unanimous decision, 30-27, and a couple 29-28s. I mean, I guess McKenna did enough to win that fight. I know Head Kick Audio Steve is here. I was actually talking to him while this event was on, and he said that McKenna did win. I was kind of watching it, not live, really. I was kind of fucking around on other shit. But I did go back and watch it, and I think that I do think that McKenna won that fight.
So I didn't see this fight. I haven't seen any highlights. I've had a very busy week so far, so I completely missed I missed it last night. But from what I saw people saying was that Demopolis was kind of forced to
Engage.
pull guard and go for like she was going for ground game, and people thought her fight IQ was really bad. I mean, I didn't see it, so you tell me. But that's what people were saying.
Yeah, I don't think that her fight IQ was bad. I just think that she thought she was better on the ground than McKenna, and McKenna wasn't playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you saw even the clip, but Demopolis did a freaking cartwheel.
Really?
In the fight. Didn't work out. McKenna kind of was just like backed up, I mean, like what you would do if
a cartwheel kick or just a cartwheel?
No, she literally did a cartwheel.
Didn't even kick on it?
No.
Oh my god. That's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking funny.
I feel like somebody's done that before, but I know Ebersol actually used kicks with it, and he's gotten a knockout before with a cartwheel kick. Brian Ebersol.
Yeah, who did it?
OG to him.
Damn. If it starts with an S, I have it. I have it in in my brain. I can totally see it,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't think of the name. But yeah, McKenna has a rough road ahead of her. UFC 115 is a fucking Shark Tank. I'm not convinced there are more than even 2 girls signed currently. McKenna, I reckon she gets smashed, sadly. Well, yes, that's very fair, Stamina. I didn't think that she was gonna get the contract, but Dana White ended up giving every winner a contract. He was basically Oprah, handing him out. Everybody gets a fucking contract. I was shocked by McKenna getting the contract. I didn't think that she did enough to get it.
He was just in a good mood.
Yeah,
that's what he said, didn't he?
He literally said, "I came down on vacation in a good mood, giving contracts out." Well, I mean,
that's
really
kind of unfortunate.
Right? Exactly what Stamina said. Yeah, she's gonna get fucking smashed now. You're gonna put her up in a Shark Tank.
Yeah, that's like the worst division to do that for somebody.
literally the worst.
Yeah.
The worst female division. Who is she gonna?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's sad, to be honest. I mean, we're going to see this 20-year-old girl get absolutely smashed. She's going to get wrecked.
If Alex Chambers is still on the roster, no offense to her, but there's one person. That's totally offensive. I'm sorry, Alex Chambers. I shouldn't have said that.
The
she
one
might be retired.
The one good thing for Corey McKenna that she has going right now is she's at Team Alpha Male with Uriah Faber.
Yeah, that could have helped her as well, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if that helped her? He's pretty close to Dana White, but I mean, what I think it comes down to is Dana White just saw a young Welsh girl, the first Welsh female fighter.
Yep, new market.
Yeah, a brand new female market. They're trying to dip in, but I don't know, man. She's gonna get the work. She's gonna get the work.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if they matched her with Kanako for Kanako's debut.
Dude, she would get smashed.
That would just be mean.
Fucking fatality, dude.
That would piss me off matchmaking wise. You know, I'd go irate about that.
Well, but
as anybody should, really.
Honestly, I can see that happening because they're both new to the UFC. So who are they going to put this 20-year-old girl against?
Stamina mentions Ariane Carnelossi, who is, you know, that's
and
not
Nadia,
easy.
And Nadia Kassem, yeah, I mean,
who's at flyweight now though, so
right, she's exactly, but yeah, those aren't high-level UFC fighters. Like, so why did they give this poor girl a contract?
I can only shrug. I don't know. I'm still gonna have to rewatch this one, see how she looked for myself. But
I mean, she didn't look terrible.
Yeah, obviously. But it's just like there's levels, and especially at strawweight, there are fucking levels.
Absolutely, there's levels to this shit.
Yep. So good fun.
Okay, so fight news, baby. Fight news. Valentina Shevchenko is going to fight Jennifer Maia at UFC 55. It would be the co-main event to Davison Figueiredo and Cody Garbrandt.
Double the flyweight action.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, I'm totally fine with this. This is exactly,
what Shevchenko asked for.
What she asked for last week. We were like, when is she going to be ready? Coming back kind of thing. Apparently she said she'd be ready by November. Obviously, there it is. And it was funny, like, I think the day after our podcast last week, the news might have broke. I don't know what it says here on this tweet, August 7th. Okay, maybe it wasn't that long ago. But like the day after, she posted like training footage. We're like, oh, okay, she's good to go now. So, like, we were talking like she's just posting trip stuff and all that. But yeah, fine with it. It's it all played out perfectly for Jennifer Maia, and as somebody who has been following her career, you got to feel good for her, man. It's a chance to reclaim that number one throne, that she used to have. So, will she be able to do it? We'll find out.
Tough matchup, dude. Tough matchup.
Tough one indeed. But, the right one. I mean, even though I totally understand the arguments for Lauren Murphy. Definitely not Cynthia Calvillo just yet, in my opinion. But it was Maia or Murphy. And obviously with the story and situation around Maia beating the person who was supposed to get the title shot, it's like, okay, come on. And, the way she did it and all that. So just reaffirming and showing those who had yet to see the best of Maia what she's really capable of. And, I think that she'll come in as good as she can for the biggest opportunity of her career, fighting in another title fight. So,
yeah, I agree. I mean, I like the fight. I dig it. It's literally what Shevchenko wants, and she's at that point in her career where she can make those call outs. Steve from Headkick Audio said Maia needs to be charged with theft for stealing JoJo's title shot. I mean, that's his fault.
That's great. That's hilarious. Accurate.
Yeah, I mean, it's accurate. You're right, but it's also JoJo's fault for taking that fight against not an easy Jennifer Maia.
Gambled. That's what happens when you gamble sometimes,
She crapped out.
Yep. And we got Yusuf here with another great question this week. Thank you, Yusuf. It's awesome to have you back, my friend.
If Wiley beats Rose and Suarez is injured, is champ versus champ next? Is it?
I don't think so. I think that fucking strawweight is just too stacked right now, dude. I mean, I would be furious if they were to, try and get back to that double champ thing, which it seems like they've slowed down on, recently for the most part, which is nice. But you look at the strawweight division, like we were saying, there's just so many possible contenders now. Like Suarez, who is one who is injured. You can argue Joanna just because of the greatness of the fight that she had with Whaley. Carla's back in the mix. Yan Xiaonan and Claudia Gadelha winner. I mean, too many choices. Well, Rose also, who he did mention in the question, but like Whaley's got plenty of exciting matchups to have for her before we can even think about Valentina.
She's literally
even
made
though,
one title defense.
yeah, like
I mean,
I hope not.
If
And
Shevchenko,
it seems like Dana isn't on that boat yet either. So,
right? If Shevchenko beats Maia, which is very, very likely because of, the run that she's on right now, I don't see anything other than a super fight if we're doing a champ versus champ against Amanda Nunes for the third time.
Yeah, when it comes to, the next potential or the one that we'd get soonest in terms of female champs versus each other,
right?
It would be that one, I think. I mean, because I just think that Whaley should have to go on like a GSP run at strawweight, because there's just so many contenders, and there's gonna continue to be an influx of it. We've seen the wave change over the last year and a half or so, which she has been a part of, and it's just gonna keep on coming. I think that she's in one of those situations where you shouldn't even be thinking about that at the moment. You have a lot of fresh blood coming in for you.
We've all seen her doing the Twitter thing, and the social media thing with comparing herself to Valentina Shevchenko and like training with her and stuff. I think she's looking down the road for that fight down the road. I mean, she's clearly said that she wants to fight Rose Namajunas.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah, which is nice.
But I agree, like, super fights just kind of over it, man. Like, Henry Cejudo totally fucked it up.
We putting the blame on Henry?
Yeah, I am gonna put the blame on Henry. I would love to see him back because he's a great fighter. I would like to see him fight Volkanovski. I think that would be a fun fight. He would be obviously the smaller fighter.
Yeah,
but
I think he might be a little too small for Alex.
But I mean, fuck it. If they're gonna put Max against Volkanovski for a third time, might as well make it against former division champion. And
I would rather see Henry give it a crack than the third Holloway fight, even though they've been great fights. But
and even though Max Holloway won that second fight, and clearly the UFC thinks that Max Holloway won that second fight.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, to go way off track with this, but like fucking, if there's literally any time to throw Cejudo into this, it is right now, because how we were talking about Holloway's like the only option with everything that's happened recently, right? Unless they want to give it to Zabit now that he's not fighting Kattar in the rematch, and they're like, all right, dude, just give it to him.
Yeah, but can Zabit go 5 rounds?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like, are they? I mean, we haven't seen it yet. But
that sucks, dude. Sucks that fight's off. And sucks that he's not fighting Kattar.
Yeah, but it's just a kind of another like shot to take at him. Like,
yeah, people are eating Zabit up right now.
Yeah, did it to himself though. So.
Absolutely. Okay, so former champion Julia Budd is coming back to take on Jessie Melee,
I think.
Melee. I'm not even really familiar with her. And she's fighting Julia Budd.
the way you presented all of that was just amazing. And the funny thing is, I'm pretty sure I've told you this story before. It's not even really a story, but I honestly had no idea who Jessie was until I found out that she blocked me on Twitter. I was like, who is this person? And what did I say to make you upset?
Do you know what you even said?
No, I never found out because I know it wasn't about her. I guess no offense to her or anything, but yeah, I just thought that was a hilarious thing, and I found that out I think before her last fight because she beat Talita Nogueira, to get
Right.
this fight here,
Yeah.
split decision, but she won that one pretty convincingly. I mean, I think Talita did win a round, but split is kind of funny. Either way, yeah, I mean, she's riding a good four-fight winning streak here, and it's a new person in the featherweight mix, which is always nice to see, and uh, a really tough fight for her, to to try and get herself into that mix and get in the Cyborg sweepstakes. A very, I would I would hate to be Julia Budd's opponent coming after that
Dude,
loss. So,
Julia's gonna fucking put it on this girl. Oh man, poor thing.
so yeah, it is fine matchmaking though. Is the funny thing, but yeah, it's gonna be a rough one. I mean, I didn't expect her to beat Toledo. That was very. I think it was it was a good upset
Yeah,
performance by her to pull that off. But this is another thing where it's like there's levels here, and Julia's gonna if we're gonna do MMA math, which is always a funny thing to do. But you look at how Julia dismantled Toledo, and then Jesse was able to get by Toledo. It's like okay, and then considering that she's coming off of her first loss in Bellator and lost her title and one of the biggest featherweight fights of all time. It's like gonna be rough, but hey,
yeah.
it would be massive if she pulled it off.
No,
I'm curious to see what the betting line will be for this.
it's gonna be heavily favored toward Julia Budd. It has to be. She's a former champion, and she's a damn good champion. She just fucking went up against Cyborg, who really nobody beats other than Amanda Nunes.
Honestly, I think that I was there for that fight week and everything, and I really think that the moment of it all, and the pressure kind of got to Julia in that situation because they
Oh,
were kind of you know more about promoting Cyborg for it, which you get it, and I think they balanced it. Well, I mean, they gave her a good amount of shine, but it was obviously in favor of Cyborg. And I mean, this was a fight
which
that
is kind of a situation, Julia Budd, because she was champion for fucking like 4 years.
yeah, but then it's like at the same time, like, oh, you're gonna give Cyborg a contender fight? It's like she deserves a title shot right away. It's like it all makes sense.
She did.
So,
She absolutely did. I mean,
and let's just say it wasn't as bad as Rousey Nunez promotion either. Like not even close to that. So, but yeah, I think that it got to her because man, I remember at actually in that picture right there of her, that's at the ceremonial weigh-ins, and dude, like you can kind of see it on her face here, but in person, like she just looked kind of fucking just nervous about the situation. Like, okay, we're going in. It's happening now. It's like she was finally hitting her because her and Cyborg, were always they were on a collision course, like in Invicta together. But then Julia ended up taking the deal with Bellator, which was the wise choice. And I think they were actually even scheduled, like, but she got injured early on or something like that. And then what happened way down the line at really the best time. But man, I don't know. It was a tough spot for her to be in mentally, I think. So see if she can get back to a rematch at some point, which would be interesting to see if it goes the same way. So
okay, so I'm gonna say, fuck super fights. It's not the champion's fault. The contenders don't amount to much. Champ versus champ is lazy as hell and needs to die out is an idea. Absolutely, it shit just fucking ruins divisions. We saw it with Henry Cejudo in two separate divisions. We're kind of
yeah,
seeing with Nunes at 145. I mean, yeah, sure, she doesn't have competition. I mean, that's not exactly all her fault, but
that's a different situation though. I think.
we saw it with Conor McGregor. He never defended a title.
Yeah, still hasn't. He has never defended a single title he's won. But
Right.
yeah, the thing about super fights for me is like, well, okay, first of all, it takes a lot for it to actually be a real super fight, a genuine super fight. Like Cejudo and Dillashaw, that wasn't a super fight, in my opinion. Yeah, it was a champion versus champion fight, but a super fight, the only two super fights, okay, I think there's been, I would say, 3 or 4 now. So GSP versus BJ Penn 2. Established champions, right? You need those champions with defenses, and they're like, okay, these guys have done some work. All right, you know, super fight, that makes sense. I like a champion versus champion fight. Now that's a super fight. Like two of those guys, DC versus Cormier 1, that was a super fight, right?
Versus John Jones.
No, DC versus Stipe.
Oh, Stipe.
Yeah,
You
DC
said
versus
DC
Stipe
versus
1.
Cormier.
Oh, did I? DC versus Stipe 1.
You don't count DC versus John Jones as super fight?
No, because they weren't champions. I think you need champion versus champion for it to be a super fight, but you need champions who are established and have defended a good amount of kind of cleared out their division for a
So
good
if Stipe were to beat DC and DC said, "Okay, I'm going to come back for one more fight," and it's John Jones, that wouldn't be a super fight, even though DC isn't a champion.
No, I think you need 2 champions for it.
No, that's absolutely a super fight because DC is regarded as one of the best MMA fighters ever, and John Jones is, I mean, you can put him at number 1. I would argue against it because of GSP and Fedor, but I mean, as far as like technical skill and fighting wise and stuff, not many people can beat John Jones in the history of MMA.
I hear you. I'm just saying my opinion there. And Cyborg and Nunes, obvious super fight. So those are the kind of ones that I look at for like legit ones. And I get, people will think of like, oh, it'll be like a massive poll kind of thing as to what makes it so super and everything, which is kind of, to the sounds of that point and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's
on that. Going the way back, we almost saw Randy Couture and Fedor Emelianenko fight. I mean, they were in talks. That was when Fedor was
okay,
in Pride.
That's a good example. That's a really good example.
Fedor was in Pride, and he was tearing up all of Asia and Russia and stuff. And Randy Couture was obviously in the UFC. We almost saw that they couldn't come to negotiation with Fedor. The UFC couldn't. Fucking sucks. Those two were legends. They are legends, and at that time they were in their prime. That would have been, man, dude, that would have been phenomenal to be able to see that fight. Yeah. Talking about super fights, that's a fucking super fight in MMA.
Yeah, that definitely would have been a good one. But hey, can't win them all.
But I mean, okay, so they're saying Head Kick says you do need to be a champ for a super fight. You do not need to be a champ for a super fight. I personally don't think so because of exactly what I just said. Daniel Cormier loses to Stipe Miocic, says, "Okay, I'm going to fight one more, but it has to be John Jones for a third time. I'm not done. I'm not done with John Jones quite yet. I want that fucking fight. John Jones is champion, right?" DC is a pound for pound one of the best MMA fighters ever. John Jones is one of the best ever. That is a super fight. Even if John Jones lost to Dominic Reyes and they were both not champions and they go to fight for a third time, still a super fight in my opinion because of what they have done in MMA.
Fair, I guess. I don't think so, but I get it. I really do.
Okay, so Dave said you can have two legends, neither of who are champions, and have it be a super fight. Steve, yo boy is crazy. Drake, you're crazy.
Whatever, Steve's getting ganged up on by the Steves.
Dave, crossing promotion lines, legends creates a super fight too. Absolutely. If we saw Kamaru Usman versus Lima, that would be a phenomenal fight, and that would be a super fight.
When Benson versus Gilbert at the time,
I
was hyped as fuck for that.
Oh man, dude, that's another one that, fuck, needed to happen, but they just they don't
It did
play.
happen. It did
They don't.
happen.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking that's true. I was thinking of another fight. Who was I thinking of that didn't get that didn't get done?
Um, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Maybe Eddie around that time. Something with Eddie,
It was
maybe.
probably Eddie Alvarez. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he eventually got there. All right, so Yusuf gave us another great one we could knock out here real quick.
Oh, okay.
So, who the
From
best
three
strikers
from
are?
3-1, who are the best WMMA strikers in UFC history? I think you and I will probably agree on this. We've talked about it before, I think.
Jeez, I mean
So
that takes.
would you put Shevchenko at number 1?
Uh, yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah. I would put Shevchenko at number 1. Would you put Cyborg at number 2?
Mm,
Who would you put above Cyborg?
oh man, I mean, I'm thinking Nunez obviously in my head there, but at the same time,
She's the best. She's the best
yeah,
all around rounded out fighter. Amanda Nunes
okay, I
is.
think yeah, I would say okay, Cyborg that's fine there, but I honestly think that Durandamy is probably a better striker than Nunez, a pure striker.
Well, we saw
So
the fight. We saw that fight, and
yeah,
we saw what happened
yeah, and
in
we've
that
seen
fight.
what Durandamy's done and everything. Um, so yeah, Cyborg, and then I probably might say GDR right there, man. She doesn't get enough love.
She doesn't get enough love. I think you're right. You can put who else can you put up there? Ronda Rousey. She had beautiful boxing.
you, you son of a bitch. Sad dude. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
You,
I think you put GDR at number 3. I mean, she has. Oh man, her kickboxing. Her
I know.
kickboxing, dude, is great.
It's
It's
so
fucking
fun to
top
watch.
notch. Top notch.
I know we're probably forgetting some people for sure, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
it's
some.
hard. It's hard to do rankings like off the top of your head. You know, you
Yeah,
kind of have to go back and say, you know, look and see. You know, was Misha Tate one of the best? No, she wasn't.
yeah,
She was a champion. She wasn't one of the best though. Was Gina Carano one of the best? She was never even a UFC champion.
yeah. I
Ronda
mean, the ones that
Rousey.
we listed,
Ronda Rousey.
obviously.
She absolutely wasn't one of the best strikers. I mean,
Yeah.
you can put Joanna up there though.
Oh yeah, yeah. Joanna's definitely a good shout. Um, but yeah, then you see we've even seen her have, you know, been beaten in striking battles. You know, we haven't really seen that from Durand to me. I know some people think that Holm beat her and stuff, but it, I don't know. We haven't seen Durand to me get knocked out, like on the feet.
Yeah.
You know, like so
No, I
you
mean,
compare it like to Joanna against like Rose and stuff. I mean,
yeah,
I
I
don't know.
mean,
It's that's a good question though. It's a very good question.
yeah, but I mean, as far as I think the way that we have it ranked is probably Shevchenko number 1. It's Valentina, not Antonina. Valentina Shevchenko number 1, Cyborg number 2, and then Jermaine Durandamy number 3. And it would be fair to say Jermaine Durandamy at number 2.
Yeah, we fucking we'll never know if she's better than Cyborg. God
You
damn it,
know,
pisses me
unfortunately,
off, drives me
sucks.
insane. Um, yeah, yeah, the Shevchenko pick is. I've actually, it's funny. I remember when Holly Holm and Valentina happened. At that time, I think this was probably a pretty common opinion, but I thought that Holly had that label. I was like, okay, she's it's pretty much become
Because of her boxing.
yeah, and what she's just the resume that she'd established by that point. And then
Yeah,
Valentina went out there and fucking won, you know,
she
in a
went primal.
very yeah.
Primal,
So I was like, okay, this chick's pretty legit and hasn't had too
right?
much trouble since then. I
Yep.
mean, aside from you know Nunes. So Yeah, that's
So Stamina said, I can't rank them in any order. I'm only saying GDR had better be in the conversation or the list is bunk. I absolutely agree. I mean,
I'm glad he agrees. Yes.
you can literally put her at number one, and I wouldn't be mad at you because of how fucking good her kickboxing is.
Yeah, man. No doubt. People need to learn. Put some respect on her name.
Oh man, she gets so much disrespect just because she ran away from Cyborg. Whatever, dude. She didn't fucking run away from Cyborg, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so um, Marina Moros is out, and against Araujo, and Montana De La Rosa is in. I didn't see this actually.
Oh, breaking news from Mr. King.
For me, yep. Montana De La Rosa, I'm really high on her, so kind of like that fight. I kind of like this fight more.
I don't like it more, but I think it's a good replacement. I was really excited for that Araujo Moroz fight. Like stylistically, man, that was going to
Yeah,
be a pretty epic one on the feet
yeah.
there.
Stylistically, it would have been fun.
But Montana here, yeah, a very fine replacement, no doubt about it.
A
Going to be
very
coming in,
fine placement.
yeah, coming in off of that, very dominant performance against Miro Romero Barella in February. Yeah, no, this is gonna be a good test, I think, actually for Araujo stylistically, and she hasn't we haven't seen her face. Um, well, like, did she fought Alexis Davis, right? Or I was gonna say, somebody who is gonna really test out her takedown defense and grappling a little bit more than we've
Yeah.
seen. I mean, even why am I thinking of Alexis Davis as the person? I don't think that was even it. It might have been, but blanking on that. Either way, somebody who will actually their game plan is going to be to try and impose their will in that way, which is not an Alexis Davis or somebody. Alexis Davis is on the back side anyway. So, but yeah. So I mean, I like it in that regard, and would like to see that Moroz one, but maybe someday. Maybe someday. These things happen. Don't know the reason why she's out either. So, hope she's
I mean,
okay, whatever it is.
I think it's an interesting fight because Araja is number 8 and De La Rosa is number 12. As far as the rankings go, it's a fine fight, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Moroz isn't ranked, right? So it's kind of better upside for Araujo.
Better upside for De La Rosa because
Well,
she's
yes,
number
yeah,
12.
too. Yeah, definitely.
And Araujo is number 8.
Yeah. So yeah, there's your weekly change-up of fights, pretty much. That's the only one we got this week, which is nice. But now we get to the wacky news of the week.
Dude, man, just dropped today. Advance with
Hot off the
bare
press.
knuckle fighting championship. Like, how fucking crazy is that?
It's pretty absurd, but you know that they fucking threw the bank at her. They fucking threw all the money that they had at her.
Yeah,
I mean, she's talked about how
couldn't get Mike
she.
Tyson, so they go Paige Van Zant route.
Yep. And they've tried. I know some inside scoops. They've tried to get some pretty notable people for a lot of money, and it's weird because you're like, where are they getting all this cash that they have? But I'm very curious to potentially know if we ever know how much that they're giving her for this multi-fight contract. And dude, I mean, good lord, just okay. So I really don't. I'm not too interested in bare knuckle boxing because it is boxing still, and I just am not too big on boxing, right? But I have watched a little bit of these fights more than regular boxing
More
because
than boxing with gloves.
yeah, because it's obviously
Because
more
you don't watch
ridiculous.
boxing. You don't watch boxing at all.
No, not even a little bit. And
Right.
and of course, there's some MMA fighters in here. I'm like, okay, let's see how they do if they get
There's a
fucked
ton
up
of
too,
MMA
guys.
fighters.
That's pretty much been the MO for these guys. Obviously. And
Yeah,
dude,
they cherry pick the old guys.
yeah, which is why this is an extra surprising thing. you know,
Well, we're
I mean,
gonna see Paige Van Zant fight Beck Rawlings.
is that something that everyone's talking about now? Is that a
Well,
potential?
I mean, Beck Rawlings is the champion.
But she's not with them anymore.
Yeah, she is. She's with them.
Still, even though she
Yeah.
was gone to Bellator.
Yeah, she goes back and forth. She said that she would fight both. Last time I talked to her, she said that she would fight both.
Well, okay. The point I was going to get at here was, and probably the most ridiculous part about this. Okay, maybe not. I was going to say the most ridiculous thing about this, besides it being a bare knuckle anything, a pretty brutal aspect of it all, is the fact that it's boxing though, and Paige Van Zandt isn't exactly known for her boxing. It's like,
Dude, she's absolutely not known for her boxing.
like the last thing, the
Okay,
absolute
so
last part of her game.
do you know who Darren Ravel is?
Yes, I saw his tweet. Yes, I did.
UFC without gloves, going to give them great exposure. Second most popular woman in MMA, save for Ronda Rousey.
He has to be trolling, dude.
He's an idiot.
UFC without gloves.
UFC without gloves. Really? It's literally called fucking boxing. It's bare knuckle boxing. It's not bare knuckle MMA. It's fucking bare knuckle boxing, you stupid motherfucker.
The weekly Steve rant.
Dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so on my other account, he blocked me because I can't stand him. I can't stand that motherfucker. Like I don't know how he got to where he is. I don't know how. I don't understand it. I can't stand him. So I make it known. I mean, I'm surprised I haven't been blocked yet, but since my new account, I haven't really gone on him. But I did on this one.
It must be like a Skip Bayless type of thing where just the professional trolls.
Yeah, he's fucking pisses me off, dude.
So yeah, I mean, will I watch Paige Van Zant's bare knuckle fights or fight?
We are.
I mean, I probably
Of course
won't
you
watch
are.
it
Come on.
live.
Come on. Why are you like Why are you stalling on that shit? You know damn well that you're gonna watch Paige Van Zandt get her fucking nose broken.
It just might be too sad. It might be too sad for me.
Dude, that pretty face ain't gonna be pretty anymore. It's gonna be meat tenderized.
Hey, I also want to say this. I already mentioned Megan once in this episode, so I'm giving her another shout out here. But she called it, dude. I mean, not retiring from MMA or anything, but she's not in MMA anymore, technically. Megan got it right. Good job.
I guess, but
I just wanted to point that out because it was funny.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know.
I think that she'll go to Bellator eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
After this run.
Once whatever her multi-fight contract is up.
Or she'll get beat up so badly she'll never want to fight again.
She might never want to fight again. And she might not be fucking posting on Instagram too often either.
Gosh.
So Stamina said, this PVC thing is weird to me. Like, if money is the motive, cool, go do it. But there's zero credibility there. And for someone harping on about proving themselves, this is so not the way to do it. Absolutely, dude. Like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? I don't understand. I don't understand the whole signing. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a really bizarre thing. I mean, that's why I'm saying they had to fucking set her up big time. Like, okay,
Dude, she's getting paid.
Okay, I don't know if I can say this on air, but let's see if I can dance around it. Let's just say, compared to the people that I've heard about getting offers, pretty high. Okay, it's higher than what they've got in the UFC, right? So we can already guarantee that she's getting more than what she's got in the UFC. but it's
Yeah.
just a matter of how much. And compared to some of the people, some very, very big names that have gotten offered contracts and good amounts of money, talking like
Right.
millions, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that she could have gotten she could be getting like 2 million here per
It's
fight.
very possible. It's very possible that she's getting upward of $2 to $3 million on this contract per fight, maybe.
Which is like, sure, why not? I guess, fuck it, I'll risk it.
Because where's she going to get that money at now? Bellator is not going to give her that money.
And if they fucking toss her some cans, then there you go, dude. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Which could be what happens, man. But absolute insanity. Some of the craziest. This is 2020 peaked.
Ridiculous. So Dave said, "Who is this dude?" I'm assuming talking about Darren Ravel, who is a stupid motherfucker. Yeah, who is a stupid motherfucker? You're right, Steve. He's a stupid motherfucker.
Stamina raises his hand.
Not a stupid motherfucker.
Not a stupid motherfucker at all, man. What are you talking about?
Not at all. Darren Ravel, on the other hand, is a stupid motherfucker.
I love it. All right, so we go from the Steve rant of the week to the Steve celebration of the week.
Celebration, bitches! Woo! All right, so UFC releases former bantamweight title challenger. God.
I had to throw that on there.
Yeah, bitch Korea. Nah, we don't get to see her fucking stupid little dancing anymore. Dancing. Whatever the fuck she did. What did she do? Like this? She went around in circles.
Oh my god, you went full circle there. Oh man, amazing. Yeah, it's not really surprising. It is. I mean, it's kind of surprising. I mean,
She was ranked. That's the hilarious thing about it. She lost the fight, she got unranked, and then she was released. Like who do we see that happen to other than a shitty fighter?
I'll be nice to Betch this episode because we've gone in on her pretty hard in the past. So, you know what? I was trying to think just now. I was like, all right, some options of where she could go. But I was like, as a bantamweight fighter, there's actually not too many options outside the UFC, right? I mean, Invicta. That's like
Invicta.
One doesn't have a division. There's not a chance Betch is making flyweight without some serious discipline.
She's got too much badunkadunk.
Yeah, I got a thick lower body. But I don't know. I don't have much care, honestly.
I like that picture. I like that picture of John Jones though.
It's like he's celebrating.
I love it.
He's also happy.
John Jones is happy. We agree. We agree, John.
Yeah, there's not much to add about that. It was a good run. It was a good run, I guess.
Yeah, she got a fucking title fight.
Yeah.
She couldn't beat Ronda Rousey.
Did you see? I pointed this out on Twitter, but because I thought it was hilarious. But before the Panty fight, they show like the little packages for the fights.
Oh yeah.
They managed to put together her highlight reel with a highlight from the Ronda fight in her favor. I was like, I've never said, wow, that's impressive that whoever edited that, good job finding something you could toss in there and make it look okay.
It must have been Mark Raimondi. Sam said Mark Raimondi said tweeting former Ronda Rousey phobe.
Yeah, he did say that,
to break
dude.
This news earlier, he made me wrinkle my nose. It's so infuriating. She gets on my nerves. Now we're gonna see her in Invicta, and she's probably gonna be a champion in Invicta or some shit.
Oh my goodness. I don't know.
Steve said, nah, Kish got another fight after shitting herself.
What is that in relation to? I've missed this.
I don't know.
Good times in the chat today, though, guys. Thank you so much for hanging around with us. Honestly.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's
I
get this
mean,
question before we go to the previews here from another one from Yusuf. Thank you, Yusuf. Always good stuff.
both Nunes and Val are 32. Up to what age do you think they will dominate up to? Forever.
Are they really
Until
both 32?
until they fight each other again. One of them has to lose, I would assume, right?
Okay,
And they're
so
going to
both.
dominate forever.
What age will they dominate up to? Okay, let's think about this. I'd have to see exactly when Nunez's birthday is, but I might say 32. She might retire soon, you guys. You got to
He
think
might
about
retire,
that.
he might retire right now because she's going to be a mom.
Exactly. I mean, so that's the thing here with this question is it's pretty I can only look at it for Valentina. Um and in terms of that, I mean, flyweight's heating up, you guys. I mean, we were talking about it last week. It was like the flyweight special that we did.
Yeah.
Um so I mean, do like a safe guess, I mean, obviously Valentina showed no signs of slowing down or anything, but maybe 2 years, maybe 34. That could be when things really start heating up. I mean, they're really heating up now, but by the point that she gets caught up with or something like that. And I mean, in regards to this question and how you kind of answered it there a little bit to start off, like until they run into each other. Well, I mean, that doesn't really stop their domination divisionally because it'll be kind of unaffected. It'll unaffect the loser depending. Well, I mean, it would be at bantamweight, right? Unless Nunes does that crazy, looks for the trifecta, which would be absolute madness, and some serious history there. Oh, I get it now. Steve says a
A
shitty,
shitty
shitty,
fighter.
shitty fighter. Okay, nice,
Right.
nicely done. So yeah, that's where I am on that question, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're gonna fight until, or they're gonna be dominant, until they're done. They're that high level of women's fighters. We're lucky to have them at the same, and that's pretty much why I want to see. I want to see the third fight between them. They've both gotten a lot better since that second fight.
Yeah,
I know
significantly.
every time we talk about this fight, it's almost weekly at this point, is that it gets brought up by somebody, either one of us or somebody in the chat. Um, man, I want to see that fight, dude. I want to see it again. I want to see a third one.
Maybe eventually. We'll see what happens. Lots
So
of stuff
Stamina said
happening.
Nunes has taken more damage across her career, but is also less active as a champ by comparison. Yeah, absolutely. And she's been a dual champion, 2 division champion. So that's the reason I want to see that fight. It would be literally a double champ versus a really dominant champion. You know what I mean? That's a true super fight. Going back to the super fight discussion.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Now we got stuff coming
UFC
up.
252 preview. I cannot wait for this card. Man, it's not just for DC and Stipe. It's for Sean O'Malley and Cheeto Vera.
Yeah, that was a great matchup.
So Livia Renata Souza versus Ashley Yoder. Solid fight, right?
I mean, it's not a big fan of the matchmaking because of, we talked about this, but when the fight was announced, Olivia is higher up on the totem pole here and doesn't make a lot of sense in that regard. But yeah, it should be fun because Ashley Yoder is always down to scrap. She's one of those fighters who, kind of like Broken Walker Sanchez, who we talked about, recently ahead of her fight with Erin Blanchfield. She'll make it competitive. She's always going to be in it, even if she's getting beat up. Like, she's always making it. She's always in it, I guess, is the best way to put it. A very tough, scrappy fighter. And now she is able to find success in areas where, you get surprised a little bit. But, man, Livia Renata Souza just still has. Okay, it's kind of a similar situation to Maia obviously at a lower grade. Former Invicta champion, of course, a very highly ranked or highly touted, strawweight for those that know about her and how skilled that she really is. Um, talking about Hamasaki earlier, she knocked out Hamasaki in the fight that they had, which was really crazy to see. And, obviously Souza's bigger than her, but that did happen. That's still a very big win to have on your resume. No, I mean, nobody's ever been able to do that before, even now. She's just, she hasn't had really that coming out performance yet in the UFC is kind of the thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
no, she
obviously
hasn't.
her debut was set up to be a showcase fight against Alex Chambers. I was so upset and bewildered by the fact that they even made that fight because it was a waste of time other than to make her look good. And I mean, she did, but it just didn't mean much because, not to knock on Alex Chambers again twice in this episode, but it's like, it was just okay, you beat her kind of thing. It didn't do anything. And then they give her, what was it, Frota after that, which was also weird. And then Frota missed weight by way too much and just weirdness. So I think this is a good opportunity for her to, and rebound also off of maybe, I don't know if it was an injury, but a loss to Brianna Van Buren, which was, another one of those cases where Brianna got to show out and, show how good she is by beating somebody like Livia pretty easily.
She's really good though.
Yeah. And I mean, so yeah, it's one of those things where I just think that Souza's better, really, literally everywhere. I mean, maybe Yoder's gonna have some like slightly better wrestling, but if she goes into that area, she's gonna be in trouble playing with the
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu of Souza, who is no joke on the ground. Yeah, man. I mean, there should
see
be some
how
pretty fun scrambles on the ground, but
I don't see how Yoder wins this fight. I just don't see it.
yeah.
But I have a question for you. What did Alex Chambers do to you? That's the second time that you've brought her up.
It's not what she did to me. It's what the UFC has done to her, I guess. They put her in these positions that just they shouldn't have done. Like she was fed to Paige. Do you remember that? She was on the Paige hype train tour.
Yeah, she was.
Not nice. Just not nice of them. So yeah, I mean, this is a really easy pick. I'd have to look at the rest of the card, but this is close to a lock of the night, I think. Close. Well, I don't know, because Yoder is pretty. Just because, like I said,
eaten up, dude.
Yeah. Ultimately, yeah. I'm gonna say Souza probably by submission in the second round, just because Yoder will probably try to take it to, try and bully her a little bit, which is gonna be a dangerous game to play. So I'm gonna say round 2 submission for Souza, but I think that she should be able to, rebound pretty well here. And just a mean individual.
So Dave said, "Good night, boys. I'm tapping. You're a bitch." Thanks for stopping by, Dave. And then Stamina said, "Early stoppage." Yeah.
Yep.
Dave's being a little bitch right now.
Yeah, we're at the end here. We've only got 2 fights to discuss, bro.
It's 11 o'clock out where he's at.
Oh yeah.
Coming on 11 o'clock. He's
so
on
what's
the
your pick?
eastern side of Canada. Yeah, I mean, Livia, it's gonna be fucking domination, dude. I just don't see how Yoder wins this fight, man. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of stoppage by the second round.
Yeah. I think that she's gonna have to catch her in a scramble, but that's just the likelihood of that. I don't know about that. Let's see. I haven't even been looking at the stats here. I mean, she's got length advantage in height. We don't know about the reach, but probably.
She's a better fighter. It goes down to being a better fighter, and she's the better fighter.
Yep, it's facts.
So
big facts.
The next fight is the good one, I think, of the two, because of Virna Jandiroba. Felice Herrig is gonna have, talk about a shitty night.
Yeah, who's gonna have the worst night, Yoder or Herrig?
Yeah, if she decides to go to the ground against Jandiroba. Wait, does Felice Herrig not have a picture?
It looks like there's, it might not have loaded. I mean,
she's ranked.
I know, which is fucking hilarious.
No, she's not gonna be ranked. She might be the next Betts Crea. Fucking lose a ranked fighter losing a fight and getting tossed, getting cut.
Very possible.
I mean, because if Jandiroba gets a hold of her, it's a wrap. Very quickly. Done.
And the thing is, it's Jandiroba's one of those fighters where kind of what she's gonna do, and you just can't stop it unless you're Carla Esparza, who even then, had some troubles, but
yeah,
it's generally. I mean, well, every fight except for one. Let's put it that way. Jandiroba phenomenal on the ground. She lulls you to sleep with her striking, makes you think she's gonna strike with you. Then she fucking snaps, attacks the leg, whatever she does to get you down when you're not expecting it, and it's donezo there. That's okay. Yeah. That's either what's going to happen to Felice Herrig, or Herrig's going to try to go to the ground because she doesn't know how good Jandiroba is.
Dude.
Okay, for people who don't know.
Good luck with that, buddy.
For people who do not realize how good Virna Jandiroba is on the ground, 13 submissions out of 15 wins. That's more submissions than Rose Namajunas has fights, okay? And she's beaten Amanda Nunes and Claudia Gadelha twice in jiu-jitsu competitions. Yeah. She's a fucking strawweight, dude. She beat Nunes.
And Nunes is really good. I mean, she has a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Jandiroba is the best kept secret at strawweight, I think, besides Kanako. Jandiroba's proven herself more than Kanako has so far to this point. So, yeah, and people seem to know about Kanako more than Jandiroba at this point, which is kind of crazy, but, it is what it is. She's just one of those talents, man, who... The Damian Maia of strawweight, which is kind of what, people have compared her to, and she talks about it a little bit, but just wait and see kind of thing. And this is a really big one for her to, be able to take out somebody with a name, which will help... get more eyeballs on her.
A ranked fighter, right.
Yeah, this is really the best situation for her. A win. Well, you would ideally want somebody, more up on the rankings or something. But in terms of
how easy it can be.
Yeah. The lowest risk with a pretty high reward.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Stamina said, I really can't see how Herrig wins this fight, to be quite fucking honest. Absolutely. Dude, she's gonna get fucking eaten alive when it goes to the ground, because it's going to the ground. Jandiroba's gonna take it to the ground. It's a wrap, dude.
Yeah, Herrig could, maybe edge her out in the striking for a little bit, but Jandiroba's striking isn't bad either. It's just the thing is that she uses it to set up, her ground attacks and takedowns and everything. So, Felice can, outstrike her for a little bit, potentially. I could see that, of course, but it's not going to last. She's not going to knock her out unless she lands something, of good timing where it's catching her just at the perfect kind of angle. If Jandiroba zigs when she should have zagged type of thing. She's not just going to.
Yeah.
Herrig doesn't knock people out, essentially.
No. Come on, let's be honest. She's about done.
And especially after this long layoff and everything, it's just they fucking set her up for they unintentionally set her up for failure, I'm going to assume.
Maybe it was intentional. Maybe they don't like her. Maybe they're done with her.
But this is just one of those things. It's the new wave of strawweight coming in here, and when this fight was made too, we were talking about the betting lines, and I haven't seen any yet. But man, if Jandiroba was a dog, which she could be just because of the name difference. I know, but you think people know about Herrig more, so that's why she could still be the favorite. And if she is, I'm telling you now.
Not the line makers, though.
Drop it.
The line makers know what they're doing. There's no way that Jandiroba is a dog now. Here, look at the chart really quick.
Yeah, let's pull it up. Be factual here. It sucks. It really sucks for her, but at the same time, it's she's trying to come back. This is maybe. I would love to know if it was her first opponent offered to her or anything, but I don't know. Just not an ideal situation to be in, coming back after so much time off. And she lost only one, or I don't think she's on a 2-fight skid, but if it's one, it's about to be 2.
Okay. This is about right? Felice Herrig is a plus 125. Or no, that was the opening line.
Okay.
On Bovada right now, she's
Still
a
low.
plus 230.
That's a lot better.
And
I might even say 300,
Jandaroba's
but that's good.
a minus 300.
Okay, nice. All right. That's really good to hear. I'm glad that they know. Glad that they know. Sucks
Yeah,
if
I
you want to
mean,
make money, but it's good that they know.
yeah, there's no way that Jandaroba wouldn't be favored by the odds makers or anybody who has seen her fight
Yeah.
and who has seen Felice Herrig fight.
Yeah. So just a matter of when. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go first round, dude. First round Jandaroba submission. I've first or second, but I think that she's just gonna capitalize when she needs to and wants to.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so looking at this card, as far as like the betting lines, Cheeto Vera is a plus 240,
some value on that.
while Sean O'Malley is a minus 310. So their favorite, Sean O'Malley, highly. They're high on Sean O'Malley. Why? Because he's coming off of that fantastic knock, but also because he has a crazy clown haircut. They love that.
It's all in the hair.
Yeah, they love the hair. So
Your pick. Who you got?
plus
Just kidding.
240, plus 240. I mean, Marlon Vera is a good, really,
Oh yeah.
a good,
No, that's
a good bet, to be honest.
no.
I
He's
like
a
that.
very. That should be a very good fight, and Cheeto's obviously no slouch. So yeah, everybody's just high on O'Malley. That's the thing. Like if the hype wasn't there, and just you going off for performances, he'd probably still be favored like a little bit, but it'd be a lot closer just because
Yeah, I think so.
Vera's fought in much better competition overall. I mean,
He's
this
the
guy survived against John Lineker.
Gonna get.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah.
Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic are really close now. At the opening, Daniel Cormier opened at plus 103, but now it's at minus 120 for Cormier and minus 110 for Miocic. Basic squash. Really no betting on
Yeah.
that. It's pretty even. They're 1-1, so
Exactly. All right, what's your final prediction for this one? Which round? I know you're saying submission as well.
yeah, dude. I mean, it has to go at least the second round, right? I mean,
I think so.
it has to. It has to happen the first round. I mean, I would assume
Yeah.
because she's so damn good on the ground.
Yep. Yeah, these fights are, should be somewhat showcases for the Brazilians. Should be a good night for Brazil.
Yeah.
For the ladies anyway.
Yeah, they're both gonna win. I would assume.
I'm excited to see. Excited to see it.
Yep, for sure.
So,
All right, later head kick, Steve. Thanks for stopping by.
thanks for hanging. All right, well, we did it. We got through another show, my man.
Can't wait for Steve Miocic and Daniel Cormier. I love that fight, man. And then also, of course, the Sean O'Malley Cheeto Vera fight. Really looking forward to those two fights.
Yep, very solid card overall. Very solid card.
But a fight fell off, though, right?
I don't think so. Maybe one, but
I think it
maybe
fell
like
off.
a lower one.
Hey, I don't know.
All right. Either way, I got something to do here soon. So let's send it on home, my man. What you got going on this week, Steve?
Not much, man. Just
Not
watching
much
fights.
going on. Just watching the fights. All right, for all you guys, of course, follow us, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Steve is Steve K _MMA on Twitter. Of course, follow him there. I am at Drake Riggs _. I just dropped today my interview I did with Chris Sunshine Lencioni, who defeated AJ Agazarm last Friday at Bellator 243. fantastic performance, fantastic chat. He's always a funny, hilarious guy to talk to. So definitely check that out. He told me about the time when he met Ben Askren, and he wasn't very nice to him. And I also asked him about his tattoo, which everyone thinks is a penis. So that was funny.
Yeah. Then I hit him up. He needs to come on MMA.
There you go.
Tell him to answer my DM.
Yeah, we'll set it up. We'll set it up. So yeah, definitely check out that interview I did. It's on. You can see it on my YouTube, which is just Drake Riggs. You can see it, on my Twitter and the article at Miami News, all that stuff. I also did a breakdown, kind of looking at DC and his eye pokes against Stipe. You can check that out on Miami News as well. Before the fight, tell me what you think, if they were intentional or not, all that kind of stuff. And of course, my Jessica Aguilar piece that I did recently as well. Very good look at her career, fun chat with her. That's also on my YouTube, my MMA News. So yeah, I think that about covers it. And getting closer to releasing some big things. Getting close. So
It's
stay
big.
tuned. It's quite big. I'm very excited. I'm just ready for it. So yes, send us home, my man.
All right, guys. For hanging. We'll see you guys next week. Have fun with the fights. Peace.
Peace.